Okay, so the Snowman. I may as well start off by listing all the positives that I have for this movie, and let me be very clear. They're not that positive anyway. The acting was fine. I mean, Michael Fassbender is fine. Rebecca Ferguson is fine. All the actors do fine. But it's less actually trying and more going through the motions, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they played a character, that's for sure. They played their characters just fine. That's the most I can say about the acting. The scenery was nice. I mean, it gives off this kind of cold, uninviting atmosphere. But then again, the movie takes place in Oslo, Norway, during the dead of winter. So, that kind of comes with the territory, I guess. But it looks nice. The snow looks nice. At least the composition of the scenery isn't terrible. I guess it's appropriate for the movie. All right, well, that's literally all I have to say for the positives. And let me make it clear: it's not like this movie is terrible. Okay, let me make that very clear. I mean, I fully expected this movie to be unbelievably terrible, judging by just the ratings it's been getting. Like it's like 21 or something on Metacritic and 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. I expected this movie to be terrible. It wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't good. But but I have so few positive things to say about it. Well, time for the bad parts, and ooh, there are quite a few. First, the editing. I don't know what happened with the editing for this movie. Like, did something happen? Like, did they do something similar to this movie? Like what happened with Suicide Squad? Did the editing house? Did, did some trailer house edit this movie? Because I don't know. The editing is so strange. I mean, it's not like a Suicide Squad where it was just completely all over the place and just obnoxious, or like King Arthur: Legend of the Sword, where it was just bonkers half the time. The editing in this movie is just, I don't know. It's so strange. Like I can't describe it to you. I could technically describe, say, King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. I can finally describe that movie's editing after I couldn't do that for so long. I can't do that with this movie. It's just like it had to have been hacked to pieces in the editing room. I swear. And because of that, we must come to the narrative of the film. It's all over the place. There are so many characters. There's like so many subplots that you have to keep track of just to follow what's happening in the film. Like, you have Michael Fassbender's character, whose name is Harry Hull, which, by the way, that's a terrible name for a character. It sounds like a porn name. All right. Like like the guy who wrote the book this is based off, and yes, this is based off a book, the seventh in a series of books, by a man named Joe Nesbo. And I have to say, Mr. Nesbo, if you're watching this, you probably aren't, but if some miracle of the universe allows you to be watching this, you picked a terrible name for your character. Harry Hole, really? But anyways, there's so many. There's just so much that happens. He has a relationship with some boy. Now, that kind of relationship, he's kind of taking care of him. He plans some kind of father son camping trip thing that goes nowhere. He's an addict which is barely explored. He has a new coworker at the police station he works at. They have a relationship, I think. I don't know. There's this other character, this other detective character who dies before the main plot of the film begins. Spoiler alert. He's played by Val Kilmer, and he looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Um, it's like, I don't know. There's so many things in this movie that just feel like they just happen, and they feel like they just don't mean anything. Like the best way to demonstrate this is in the first scene of the film, we see a boy, and his mother. Like this man pulls up in a cop car. I guess he is a cop. I won't spoil his role in the film, but he's important, kinda. I don't know. He comes into their house, and I guess he's quizzing this boy on on Norse history or something. He's like this little pile of pebbles on the table. He's like moving them around like that, and like, is that supposed to mean something? I don't know. And like, if the kid can't answer anything, he smacks the mama on the face. Like, is that supposed to mean something? Like, well, the reason he's treating the boy and his mom like dirt is something I won't spoil. Um, but that scene doesn't mean a whole lot. In fact, I'll spoil this. You can probably guess right now, like just watching the first scene in the movie, you can guess that the kid probably goes up to be the killer. He does, and his motivation is just doesn't make any sense. Like I'll go ahead and spoil his motivation. Which I don't know if it's much of a spoiler anyway, because I don't know if it's correct. Like, okay, his thing in this movie is that I think it's killing mothers who don't care about their children. Like he kills one woman who had an abortion. She didn't want her baby. There's another mother who is at the end of the film. She's kind of sort of important. Who he says doesn't care about her son. I don't know if that's true or not. Like, I don't know. Is that his thing? He kills mothers who don't care about their kids. I don't know. It's not fully explained. Yeah. So the narrative is just a mess, and the editing and the slapdash terrible editing doesn't really help with that. The musical score, I guess it's okay, although it feels really overbearing at times. I really don't have much else to say about the film because, well, I can say this: I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about the story. I didn't care about anything that was happening. And I guess the reason I'm having a hard time explaining, like, oh, because I'm like, is that his motivation? I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because I had a hard time paying attention. Mainly because I didn't care about anything that was happening. The movie made no effort to make me care about any of the characters or the story. And when a film can't make me care, I'm not going to like it at all. So, no, I think that about does it for my thoughts on the Snowman. So, let's go ahead and sum up my points. 1, acting is fine. Not great, it's fine. Though it feels like the actors are kind of going through the motions. 2, scenery and composition of the film looks nice. It has this cold, uninviting atmosphere, which I guess is appropriate for the film. 3, narrative is all over the place. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I felt very little investment in it. And 4, the characters I don't care about. None of them are interesting at all. And there's too many of them for me to care, and it's hard to keep track of them. So overall, my score of The Snowman is a 5 out of 10. It's a bad movie. Well, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.